Oh shit! I didn't even get the chat up. Oh, hold on. Let me just pull the chat up. Seed of the woman. Man, Jake, boy. Oh, what's going on? Okay, all right, that's cool.
I mean, it says we live.
Yeah, we're live. I'm just pulling up the what's it called? The chat so I can see see the chat. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to see the messages. There we go. Should have done this before, but I forgot. Mine is just a man, you know. Pop up chat. Right. So first, let's say Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And you know, pretty much we want to talk today about, you know, the common, you know, race war, you know, mainly between Esau, Edom, all right, and Jake, you know, and that's Jake wherever we are, and that's gonna happen in America, and it's gonna happen in Europe, you know, it's gonna happen in the UK, it's gonna happen in France, Germany, Holland, all right, you know, Esau, beginning with these low level incels, these cucks on the street, they're gonna lose their minds and come at Jake. You know, they're blaming Jake for all their problems. All right, and they're being whipped up into a hysteria, you know, through their elites and their propaganda machines like Twitter and all the bots whipping these Edomites up into hysteria to turn their anger and hatred towards Jake and the other nations too. You know, but mainly is Jake. Jake is the one they really hate the most. They're the one. We're always what's on the back of their mind, even when they're talking about Muslims, and what's at the back of their mind is big rubber lips. Big rubber lips, man, and BBCs, because that's all they think about. Because it's in the spirit, you know. It's a spiritual thing. This is Genesis 3:15, and I will put enmity between thee, speaking to the serpent, thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So there's going to be enmity between two seeds, the serpent seed and the seed of the woman. Now, for in the interest of time, we've already broken this down before, but the seed of the woman is Israel, and the seed of the serpent is Esau. That's why when you go into the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, Jacob and Esau, you said sign up?
Yeah, no. I mean, after you read the scripture, like I have a precept, you know. After.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. That's why when you read Genesis 25th chapter, it says the two youths, they struggled within Rebecca. All right. Let me read that real quick, then I'll pass it over. Genesis 25 and 22. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebecca, his wife, conceived. Yeah, but it didn't say they had sex though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He just prayed to the Lord and she conceived.
Yeah. She just conceived. Sperma.
Man, Slaki, I don't mean to. But see, you know, and the children struggled together within her. So these are two children in the same womb, and they were basically, you know, struggling together, fighting. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And that's heavy, because you can imagine that she probably weren't even sleeping right.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a normal pregnancy. She was probably under a lot of stress and strain, as it would be, because these two nations that were in her womb are basically the whole story of man revolves around these two. It's all really about Jacob and Esau.
Yep.
You know, where the headline fight. You know, the
main event.
You know, when you get like a boxing, and you get the two main, the card, the head, what's the main card? Ain't nobody care about the undercards. You know,
That's
so
it.
there was a lot of spiritual pressure there. It says, and the Lord said unto, 2 nations are in thy womb. So these 2 boys, 2 men, were going to be the progenitors, the patriarchs of 2 completely different nationalities. Right? 2 nations are in our womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So generally speaking, as a nation of 2 different nations of people, we got 2 different spirits. Right? Esau's got that perverse, freaky spirit. That's why they have an obsession with penises. It's a weird obsession. You ain't gonna go to Ghana and people are drawing penises all over the damn toilets and all over the damn tables. But you come to England,
that's a good point, you know. I from all the years I went to school in Ghana, I don't think I ever saw that once in the toilets, bro.
Yeah, because Esau has an obsession with, he's a very perverse individual. You know, he has an obsession with these perverse things. That's why they have whole industries to cater towards that. You know, perverseness, like things that you wouldn't even think of. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He into that?
Yeah. I mean, porn. Like the reason why porn is such a large industry is because of Esau, you know?
Yeah.
And even I remember recently there was like discussing a porn hub that is, you know, the main guy, like ahead of it, is a fucking small hat rabbi, you know?
Yeah. And they serve every form of perverse, you know, you could think of, man. Esau's got sex toys. Why would a grown, listen, I've always said, what do you need toys with sex for? Like, toys are for children. That already shows you Esau has a perverse mind. You know, we don't play with gal, you know, it's a serious business, bro.
Serious business.
Man's talking about playtime. Playtime is for kids. Sex toy. That shows you already the man's got a perverse mind.
Yep.
A toy, you know. Anyway.
I have a precept.
When you become a man, you put away childish things. Hey, go on, huh?
Yep. This is Ecclesiasticus 33:14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and sin against the godly. You know, and in spirit, we are the seed of the righteous. You know what I mean? Even the scripture says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way the wicked seduce him. So that's why, you know, no matter where Jacob and Esau are in the story, they are always gonna come against each other. That's just in their nature. Like when was coming out of Egypt and was trying to go through the King's Highway, and this nigga, even then, he was like, I don't care if you man just came out of slavery. You know what I mean? I'm against you. You know, and as Israelites, we are the temple of the Most High, right? If you think about it, every time the physical temple was destroyed or taken down, Esau was a part of it. Like if you look at the first temple, scripture says that when the Babylonians was coming against us, that the Edomites burnt the temple. If you look at the raise it, you know,
that's because they're haters.
And if you go, that's because they're haters. And then if you go into the second temple, you know, when it got rededicated and the whole nine, that's Esau, the Antiochus, Epiphanes, the Maccabees, and that whole concept. And even what was left of it, in 70 AD, was Esau. So that war is always been there, and it's here today. So that's why, it always comes down to Jacob and Esau.
And it can't, that peace, man. Sometimes you think there's peace, but hey, it's not really there. It's just been hidden, and it always comes back. Just like now, you've had a period of time, I'd say, over the last 30 years where you've had political correctness. So these Edomites have hidden their hatred. They'll talk about you behind closed doors. They'll hide on Twitter.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll be politically correct. But now they don't even want to be politically correct no more. They're upset. They want to just be able to come straight out with it, and they want to become violent and reestablish their dominance over Jake, which is really what all of this is about. Their manhood is fragile, and they want to reassert dominance over Jake, supremacy, because really over the years everything that they thought they were supreme over has been chipped away. They got nothing. Even their own football team now, they can't. They ain't even got that. Jake just pure pace and power barged them off the ball. Move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, man? Like Essien just come to the Premier League. Move. You know what I'm saying? Dude grew up with no shoes. Just come.
Yep.
Go and just move, man, off the ball straight up, and that's meant to be your sport you invented, and you can't even make your own team. These men are hurt, and people need to remember that these Edomites were always protected from competition. These low-level, average-level Edomites used to be protected from competition, and over the years, that's kind of been taken away, and that's why they're crying now. Oh, DEI, because now you got to do a little bit more competing, but you're a loser.
Yep.
You know, a lot of the jobs for the boys thing kind of got taken away with the corporate structure. Now you actually have to apply for the job and line up your CV, and you didn't get the job. Now you're blaming Jake because you're a loser. But anyway, let me finish this and then we'll jump into this.
Hey, bro. Yeah, it's funny, man. I asked chat GBT, do all the major white nation football teams have black or mixed players? And it goes, if by major white nation football teams you mean predominantly European teams such as England, France, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, and similar countries, then most of them currently have players of diverse ethnic backgrounds, including black and mixed race players. You know what I mean? It's like really to find an international team that hasn't got some Jake in there is basically impossible. Especially like in Europe. Jake can take it over, man.
Yeah, and it's by merit.
It's by merit.
Because they're just good. You want to win? You need that pace and power. You know what I'm saying? It's athletics. So you need athleticism. And you Edomites are weak. By your very nature, you're weak. Yeah, we know what it's like, brother. This brother would tell you you're growing up. Who used to break their damn feet all the damn time? In school.
These Edomites.
Breaking bones, man, get hit in the face with a ball, your nose broke. Like, what's wrong with your nose, bro? Oh, he broke my nose. Dude's breaking hands.
Yep.
That's people are weak, man. They're inferior. And they're hurt, you know, on every level. They're hurt. They can't even have children.
Yep. Right. I was gonna say, man, I have another scripture.
Okay, go on.
All right, this is bro. For some reason, I can hear feedback now. I can hear myself.
What, on my one?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's better now. It's better now. No, it's better now. It's better now.
Okay, cool.
It says, and Esau. This is Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, whereof his father had blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that spirit is attached to the seed. You know what I mean? From, Cain and Abel, then obviously later Seth and the righteous seed, and, Jacob, Esau, that hate, the serpent and that whole dynamic, that hate is attached to the seed. That's why
they don't like
these
to see
Edomites
Jake.
can't explain it.
Bro, they don't even like to see Jake like having fun.
Yeah.
If they see Jake having fun, you go to the comments here, and like there was a video where a bunch of I think they were, I don't know if they were Jake from America or Europe, whatever. It's a bunch of Jake, and they went to some ski resort, and they had a party in the ski resort, and they were playing hip hop music. Yeah. And then in the comments, they were like, "Oh, you can't even go skiing no more. This is atrocious. Like black people, they ruin it." And bro, they were just, and all Jake was doing, there were no violence. Jake was just playing music and having fun. And then I literally typed into YouTube ski resort parties, nothing but Edomites playing techno music, drinking and taking drugs and going crazy. You know, they're having a party in a ski resort, but you look in the comments, people are like, "Oh, that looks fun."
Yeah, and it's. I mean, bro, even recently with the parade, remember there was like Edomite fans online. Oh, it's gonna turn to a carnival. You know what I mean? They're just hating us. Like,
yeah,
come
man
on,
was
bro.
dancing the candy in the street, and they're like, "This ain't how you what." What's wrong with you?
Bad.
They're just haters, man. And you know what? You can't convert a hater. So don't even bother. It doesn't matter what you do. And this is where a lot of Jake go wrong. We need to keep the standards, not for Esau's sake. When we get on Jake to be better, it's not so you could impress Esau and Esau, you could be approved of Esau. It's so that you could be approved of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because you will never be good enough for Esau. Esau will always find a way to disparage you in some way, shape, or form. It don't matter what you do. You can't do nothing right for this man because he's a hater. And so you can't convert a hater. And don't even bother. Don't try. If you're going to be a better person, be a better person for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Don't try to be nothing for Esau. Esau's the devil. You know? Because you get them Jakes, like they trying to prove something to Esau. I ain't trying to prove nothing to this man. Right? Let me finish off this scripture then. Back in Genesis 25 and 23, it says, "And the one people shall be stronger than the other people." And that's talking about us, the Israelites. We're stronger than these Edomites. Their supremacy isn't based upon physical, real supremacy as a man to man. Their supremacy in the earth is simply based upon the fact that due to the curses of Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter, our enemies would have dominion over us. What Esau will tell you, according to the system of white supremacy, Esau is naturally, inherently superior to us in terms of strength, intelligence, naturally. But that's not true. Naturally, we are superior to him. He's DEI, basically. He's a DEI higher. The Lord took a base man, because the Lord has that power, and put him in a position over someone who's better than him. And that's why Esau has to sabotage us as a people. This is why he's insecure in his supremacy. He's insecure about his women. That's why he's always thinking about the so-called black man's rod. We ain't thinking about his rod, but he's thinking about our rod, because you're insecure. You know what I'm saying? You know, actually, these people, no matter what we do to them, we're still naturally a superior people than it. We're a stronger people. And it says the elder shall serve the younger, which is you Edomites. You were born first. Your destiny is to be in subjection. You got anything you want to add to that, Ark?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I had to say real quick.
You got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, man. Esau was just, you know what? I actually had the scripture, to just really add to that point.
Go on.
This is Esther 3 and 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then Haman was full of wrath. And the point I wanted to make is like, Esau, anytime he sees like, Jake doesn't, coming out, bowing down spirit, it messes with their spirit completely, And really it's because in spirit, Jake knows he's more superior than him, even though temporarily he might have the power. And it kind of shows you that with Haman and Mordecai. It's like Haman had that period of where he had a certain rank, but Mordecai was new in spirit, man. I'm above you anyway. You see, and that still reigns unto this day.
Because what Esau wants is for Jake, because Esau hate when Jake can't have confidence, and there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Jake, you don't want Jake to be confident in himself and his own abilities because it's too threatening. So Jake always got to be super humble. You know what I'm saying? That's when Esau feel comfortable, when you're bowing down and scraping.
Yeah, and just having
begging them for respect, man. But this truth flips that on the head, where you realize that, yo, hold on, this is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
Yep.
So anyway, you've had a situation recently, two situations in the UK. You had one situation where this Edomite decided to do some foolishness with some Sikh guy, whatever they said happened, and he ended up getting stabbed up, and the Sikh guy called the police and accused the guy of racism, didn't mention that he stabbed him. So when the police turned up, they put handcuffs on the Edomite. But then within a minute, they realized what happened and they tried to save his ass, but he was dying anyway. And then Edomite is, outraged and tried to play the victim over it. And now all of a sudden, the system is racist against Edomites somehow. They're two-tier policing and all this foolishness. So they're all on Twitter getting roused up. Then you had another situation that happened. That was like a week and a bit. Well, actually, the actual incident happened months and months ago. It just became public now. I wonder why. And then so now recently you had we don't know the details, but some Sudanese asylum seeker who's been granted leave was on video stabbing up some Edomite in Ireland, Northern Ireland, and allegedly trying to behead him. Yeah. I mean, he did him dirty. The video was crazy. So now they're using that video to say, the immigrants are invaders and enough is enough. And, the whole victim thing. And now these Edomites have gone out and, with the lynch mobs, burning house downs and acting crazy in particular areas. And this situation is going to get worse because more and more these Edomites are feeling justified to behave in this manner. They're being whipped up into what's it called? What's the word? Radicalization on Twitter, because the algorithm on Twitter and the bots is just rage baiting them all day in regards to Jake and the other nations. So they're just on Twitter. They're just on Twitter all day getting angry, and their real life is messed up because their elites are taking away their jobs and their wealth and all the little benefits that they had. So they got nothing else to do but then to just hate. And that's what you're seeing happening. And they went as far as they burnt down this dude's house. Look, this guy.
Letty stood right over there and watched the whole house go up. How are you feeling about that?
And this guy's an Edomite. So they're just low IQ. They just went out there in the anger. I thought Esau was beyond that.
Yep.
I thought Esau was civilized and he does everything the right way and he writes letters. And why didn't they just write a letter to their local PM requesting an audience to speak? Why did they go out and start fires? I thought that's something that low IQ third world apes do. That's because Esau is a low IQ third world ape. That's where he comes from.
Yep. Yeah. Because that's his spirit. You know what I mean? Esau always results, like, instead of taking accountability, he resorts to violence. Like Cain should have taken accountability. You know what I mean? If Cain took an accountability, maybe the Lord could have had mercy on him by saying, "Look, man, your brother gave the right sacrifice, and that's why he was accepted. So go and humble down and come back and bring the better sacrifice." But Cain just went to murder, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like murder is uncivilized.
Yeah,
that is the peak of. There's nothing more uncivilized than murder.
Yeah, and if you take
and he was
Esau,
the first murder.
Yeah, he was the first murderer. And if you take Esau and Jacob, it's like, bro, take accountability. He gave up your birthright, and then and later on he came and supplanted for the blessing. Charge it. You know,
he tried to resort to murder again.
Man, he's just nothing but a murderer, bro.
This is who Esau is, like. But he's quick to point the finger, and it's funny because they pointing the finger at Jake, like the knife crime in London, and in the same news they're dropping bombs on Iran. It's like, bro, like, where's the accountability for your politicians that's just making crazy decisions and killing people?
Bro, he's just a devil. It's like, bro, like, again, I'm going back to the example of Haman, bro, because of Mordecai and the hate that built up. He just said, let's give a decree to just exterminate them. Like, come on, like, that's not reasonable, is it? That's very unreasonable. You know what I mean?
He's unreasonable. He's some would say uncivilized. Some would say barbaric. Barbarism. But that ultimately is Esau's nature. He's the true barbarian. He's a heathen. All right, let's play this.
I've lost a home, man. 13 years out here. And that's gone. The house is wrecked, man. The whole house is completely destroyed. From top to bottom. It's literally all gone.
And did you see footage of, I mean, you were standing across the road watching it happen?
I seen it. The car was here even before it went up. It was a red car, and I'd seen him lighting it. I told him, this is my house, this is my house. I knew it was going to catch fire. And
so they were setting fire to the car, but then clearly then...
And then that one there. And then
they chimping out.
One, it caught fire the whole house. It wasn't all sparks on flying. It was actually the door went up first. And then I knew straight away that was it gone.
Was there anyone in the property?
No, the property was completely empty, no. That's just it. I was standing there watching it.
Man, stash is gone, you get me?
Bro, like, imagine kids could have died, bro. Like, a man could have killed either my kids. That's just some unreasonable rage, bro. Like, that's just unreasonable rage.
Coke stash is gone, bro. It's peak.
His coke stash. Yeah, it's gone. He's pissed.
Packet's gone, bro. I'm telling you.
His packet's gone. Man.
Yeah, they were moving mad last night. Let me see if I got any images. Yeah, they started attacking businesses from so-called immigrants. They were chimping out. They were chimping out last night, man. Not in London though, because obviously they ain't got the heart to do that. You're setting the houses on fire, cars on fire. And all these Edomites were cheerleading it on, that's what happens when you. So they're cheerleading this behavior. But when Jake does it, they're just low IQ animals that burn down their own neighborhood.
He's a hypocrite, man. He's just a hypocrite.
This guy, man.
Well,
all right. What I wanted to speak about, I tried to find a clip here because there was a black nurse from London. She came on LBC. I couldn't find it, and she basically said, like, they're doing this in Belfast, and if what's his name, Nigel Farage, which is for reform, or this other guy, what's his name, Rowe, is it Rowe? The guy for Restore, the Trump 2.0. Rupert Lowe. I think his name is. He's basically Trump 2.0. He's running the same playbook as Trump. Oh, I'm going to arrest all the politicians who were involved in bringing these immigrants. He's doing the same thing that Trump did. He's basically, they're running the same.
Rupert Lowe.
Rupert Lowe. He's basically Trump 2.0. He's the guy that they're setting up to be the new far right leader who says things that the system doesn't want him to say. When he's an elitist. He went to private school, all of that. That guy is a puppet of the elite.
Yeah.
But he's on the internet pandering to these right-wing idiots so that he could get power and do the same thing Trump is doing, which is forward in the New World Order. But
I think over here in Baconland, like, someone like him would be perfect to push the chip, because these Baconites would just ride on his coattail completely. The same thing that happened, you know, with Trump. Yeah, it's for the immigrants. You know,
yeah, guys are foolish, man. So anyway, she was on the program and she was saying if these guys get into power, she's just gonna leave England because she's saying you're gonna get these Edomites kicking in migrants' doors and dragging them out their houses, right? Which reminds me of the movie Children of Men. You know, in the movie Children of Men, you had immigrants being put in cages and stuff.
In cages,
and then she said, but what she said was right. She said, listen, if you come to London, right, and you start trying to do that, there's gonna be bloodshed because that's not gonna run like, oh, you just turn up and you just drag people at their houses and everyone's running and screaming. No, you're just gonna get a bunch of YNs that's gonna turn up with machetes, rams, and the blicky, and they're gonna put you in the dirt, and you will become part of the UK soil. That is exactly what, and this is what they want. This is exactly what they want. They want these low-level what they call it, expendable. Elon Musk is on Twitter boosting up these low-level expendable Edomites to go into these Jake areas, which is basically going into hell and starting something stupid that's going to get them killed, because they will get killed. It's like it's a guarantee. Trust me, they're getting a ram to the heart.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And that's always been the vibe of Esau. I have a precept on that.
Yeah, go on up. Tell me what it is.
This is Psalms 140 and 1. It says, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man, which imagineth mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. And that's the spirit of Esau, you know?
And that's what they're doing. Jake ain't worried about Esau like trying to. If anything, Jake is kind of ops in each other in London, Birmingham, wherever you look here. Jake ain't really concerned with Esau. Jake kind of live in their own bubble, and they don't really. You won't find a group of Jake trying to go outside and hunt down Edomites or even talking about it. Jake is all on their own little thing that they got going on. But these Edomites are all over Twitter talking on Jake. They're they're mobilizing themselves. Oh, we need to save the country. We need to do all this stuff. Meanwhile, Jake's just chilling. So they're the ones really being the aggressor and being violent. And even they had this guy Andrew Tate. He's an agent, by the way. He's that's why he's on TV. I thought he got cancelled. But he's on there talking about white genocide. And even the other agent, Piers Morgan, was like, well, what are you talking about? And then Tate's like, in London and knife crime. And man's like, but most of the people that get stabbed by black people in London are black. How can that be a genocide then? And he was like, it doesn't matter who they're stabbing because it's just a stupid argument. But that's what these Edomites believe. They actually, in their mind, they believe that Jake is trying to kill them or something. Like Jake is invading, and you know, it's insanity. But this is what they believe. This is what they're getting radicalized to believe on Twitter. And you're gonna have Edomites that eventually are gonna get brave enough. Not now, because they're not brave enough right now. Eventually, they're gonna get brave enough to step foot in London or Birmingham, Manchester, Nottingham, any of these major cities, and they're gonna die there.
And really a point I just wanted to really speak on quickly is that, you know, that's Esau having a victim complex is in a seed. Like that's in the spirit. Like, remember when his birthright got supplanted, he was acting like he was a victim. He was acting like, oh, he just took my this. And it's like, bro, you gave it away. You didn't care about the Most High. But when you now was meditating on the effects of what you've done, you just now become a victim, and now you just turn to, well, as soon as my father goes, I'm going to go and slay Jacob. Instead of taking accountability, he just becomes a victim. You know, and that's that theme is in many parts of the scriptures of just a bunch of Edomites hating on the righteous, you know, and wanting to exterminate them.
Yep, no? That's that sword, and don't get it twisted. They're gonna kill a lot of Jake too, but a lot of Edomites are gonna have to die. This is not going to be this how it was back in the day. Because when you go into the history of the UK, there was a time where Edomites could come in and abuse Jake with impunity. But the reason that stopped happening is Jake basically said enough is enough, and they started forming groups that would actually go out to fight the National Front, and that started stopping them. You had the Irish and the blacks actually used to come together and fight the English Reds and mess them up. And that's gonna happen again.
Yep.
You know, but it's all prophecy, man. We're gonna get it in 2 Corinthians 15. The race riots and that, it's all prophecy, man. And it's all part of Esau being broke down. Now I wanted to touch on this real quick. These Edomites, man, they're so sad. Let's play this. Because they're trying to justify it, man. There's no justification. Jake ain't done nothing to you, Edomites.
Reform is about a society that is based on meritocracy. It doesn't matter what colour your skin is. It doesn't matter what ethnic minority you're from or not from. Every company, whether it's public or private sector, should be able to hire on the basis of the best person for the job.
Right. Now, first of all, that's never happened.
That's never happened.
Going back into history, right, even if you were more qualified than the next man, it was more likely they were going to hire the Edomite or the boss man's cousin or his nephew. Jobs for the boys. In the history of Jake in the West, right, the West has never been a meritocracy. The West has always, in this kingdom, Jake has always been discriminated against for skilled and high-paying jobs. Regardless of your CV or the experience that you may have. They'd be the first fired, last hired. You got to do double the work to get the same credit. So this idea that but we just want it, it's a meritocracy. It's never been a meritocracy in Esau society. This is the lies, and Esau lives off creating these illusions of fairness and civility. It's never been like that. In fact, there's actually in the UK, it's a well-known saying. It's called jobs for the boys. Jobs for the boys is a British idiom used to describe situations where people in position of power unfairly give jobs, contracts, and special favors to their friends, supporters, and family members rather than hiring the most qualified candidate. This is a known thing. There's when you go into, I've worked in quite a few industries, and you speak to these old boy Edomites, and they'll tell you, yeah, my man got the job because his uncle was so and so, and he got the job. Oh, this guy over here, that was his brother, and he got the job.
Yep.
I'm sure this brother's had the same conversation.
Bro, I mean, we always talk about it, man. Like my company, you know, as you know, bro, there's literally lineages of families that's in there, like lineages. And there's dudes who are now like 19, 20 years old. You know, they already got a mortgage, like their mortgage is nearly paid off because their pops and uncle and granddad work there. But for Jake to get in there, you got to literally go through like a damn spider web of glass. Like, you know what I mean? It's literally Jake has to go through double hoops. And even in sport, it shows you that. You know, one thing they talk about here, like in the UK, black managers in the Premier League. Even though it's a small example, but it's a thing. Like you have a man like Sol Campbell kind of always touches on that point. He's like, yo, like Jake are qualified. Jake to dominate these industries, but in certain levels of management and positions, it just goes on to these Edomites, bro.
It's jobs for the boys, man. Like basically in football, they don't mind Jake being the operational, but the management side of it, the admin side, they gatekeep it. And a lot of companies do that. They put Jake is on the front line, but they try and gatekeep all of the head office jobs and all of the high paying jobs to themselves. This is a fact.
Happens all the time.
And then one black woman will get in there and they'll shout DEI.
Yeah.
Bro, relax.
You know, it's like You know, it's like, bro. You remember that LBC clip you sent me the other day, where it was like in the police force, it's DEI, and the guy said, "Bro, can you give me an example?" And all the examples he gave never existed.
It was bullshit.
Bullshit.
They're all
Like
lesbians.
they're all lesbians and white. It's like, what are you talking about?
Because he's on Twitter, and the bots have just been feeding him lies.
Yeah,
you know. And then if he sees a so-called black man with a good job, oh, he only got the job because he wasn't really qualified. He just got the job because he's black. And this is what they use that DEI thing to mean. DEI is just another way of saying you didn't deserve to get the job, which is not even how DEI works. DEI is like, okay, historically, let's say they say Jake don't normally get a job. They'll have to put advertisements for that job in Jake areas.
Yeah.
So that there's awareness so people apply for the job. It doesn't mean that if you could just walk in off the street and just because you're black, you get the job.
Yeah.
Which is why most companies, they have a target quota, but they never meet the quota because that doesn't even happen.
Yes. Yes. And it actually shows you how dumb these Edomites are, because DEI as a concept alone, it focuses on a minute amount of people. Like, you don't do DEI hiring and become the majority. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, bro. It's like, guess what? If the DEI become the majority, it's because they're better than you Edomites fucking anyway.
Yeah, like you said with the football thing, these Jake here, they'll get a job in some bug team somewhere, and then they won't do well, and they won't get another job because it will be proof that they're not good enough. Meanwhile, man like Frank Lampard can just fail upwards.
Yeah.
They'll get opportunity after opportunity because it's jobs for the boys. So they'll get an opportunity. They'll fail. Esau fails
Henderson
all the time.
Fucking Henderson. You know what I mean? Like, dudes just be trash and just run bare Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. Like, how?
That's one of the biggest examples of jobs for the boys. That's someone's brethren. Like, why is he there, bro? Dude's probably got 2 hip replacements, but it's crazy. Man.
Yep.
Anyway, let me read this real quick. So discrimination in the workplace in Britain. So-called black people in Britain face significant workplace discrimination throughout much of the 20th century. To the nature and severity of discrimination varied by decade, region, employer, and industry. Before large-scale post-war immigration, black communities in Britain were relatively small, concentrated in ports such as Liverpool, Cardiff, and London. Black workers often experience exclusion from skilled trades. Yeah, about meritocracy. Barriers to joining trade unions. Yeah, preference given to white workers during economic downturns. That's the whole thing of last hired, first fired. And that's happening again. The numbers just came out. So-called black unemployment in the UK is way up because they're the first ones to get fired when there's an economic downturn, which is the economic downturn right now. So Jake is catching hell. The only difference is Jake is used to catching hell. So they just get on with it. Man just shot the packet to these Edomites or something. Or jump on the, Jake won't be coming out here and protesting and crying because they ain't got a job. Whereas these Edomites, they don't have a job and they'll blame everyone else. Oh, it's DEI. Bro, how can it be DEI if even Jake is unemployed? No, it's your boy Elon Musk that you're worshiping. He's the reason you ain't got a job, you moron. Anyway, discrimination in shipping and maritime and employment. So when you go down to the Windrush era, which is the main era when a lot of these Jakes came in, and Jake was catching hell, and Jake came here to help build back Britain, and they were still catching hell. So the arrival of many Caribbean migrants following the arrival of the ship Empire Windrush arrival helped address Britain's labor shortages. Despite being recruited to help rebuild Britain, many black workers encountered many employers openly refused to hire black applicants. An example of that, I believe, is King's Cross. For a long time, no Jake were hired to even work in King's Cross because the Edomites coming into London from outside of London didn't want to see black people. So there was a long time when they weren't hiring no Jake to work in King's Cross.
Yeah.
And it weren't that long ago. Right? Examples included signs stating no coloreds, employers telling applicants vacancies had been filled when they arrived for interviews, informal color bars that excluded black people from customer-facing jobs. See? That happened. I know this for a fact with King's Cross, this happened. You got porters and people that carry the bags and that. The Edomite didn't want Jake handling their stuff, so they couldn't hire no Jake for King's Cross for a very long time. And that happened in other places. This is the hell that Jake was been dealing with, and these Edomites are acting like that's what they're going through now. It's disgusting. Occupational segregation. Black workers were disproportionately concentrated in public transport, factory work, foundries, hospitals, cleaning, and maintenance. That's why damn near every brother's auntie, grandmother, or mother's a nurse. Everyone's got nurses in their family. I got at least 2-3 nurses in my family. This brother's got nurses in his family. You probably struggle to find a brother in the camp that don't have some family member that was a nurse.
Yep. I got a quick piece of information. What you're shouting out. I'll just read 2 lines. This is Wilson Samuel Jackson, in 1962. King's Cross Station was the workplace of Wilson Samuel Jackson, who became Britain's first black train driver in 1962. Up until that period, driving roles were informally or formally reserved exclusively for white men. Upon his promotion, some of his white colleagues actively revolted and agreed to forbid any white man from working under him. A line manager intervened, threatening to sack the line workers who refused to cooperate, which broke the immediate boycott. And then here it says, modern incidents. While former institutional color bars were legally outlawed by the Race Relations Act of 1968, King's Cross has seen modern employment tribunals involving individual claims of racial discrimination and harassment among station and contract cleaning staff. So even today, there's still a certain form of it still taking place.
Yeah. So these Edomites, they're acting as if this is what they're going through.
Yeah, Esau's unbelievable, bro. He's unbelievable, bro. It's unbelievable, bro. Have you seen what man is having to deal with? You know what I mean? What us brothers, parents, and our grandparents had to deal with in this country, bro. Just menial jobs, bro. A lot of us that may have decent jobs now, bro. Our parents was cleaning toilets and shit in the 70s and 80s and
had
stuff
qualifications.
Like and had qualifications, yeah.
You go for a job and they'll tell you. I remember my dad telling me, like, my uncle had the same thing. These men were working in the West Indies doing skilled jobs, and they come here and man say, "Oh, you're overqualified." Man say, "How can I be overqualified for a job, brother? I'm trying to get this job. You're telling me I'm overqualified."
Yeah. Or even at times, bro. Remember, sometimes they actually wouldn't let you convert your qualifications back home to this systems. It's like a person might be a nurse or matron in a foreign land, and then they'll say, "Oh, your qualifications don't have as much weight or points here." It's like, bro, what do you mean? I'm a qualified civil fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm qualified. But you're like, nah. So then they would then backtrack that, Jake, by saying go back to a school completing. It's like, bro, this dude already spent 6 years in a foreign land learning, and now he's got the skill, and now you're telling him to go back to do the same thing.
And then what that does is it's all a knock-on effect, because you're as a people or as an individual, your wealth is based upon the amount of time you spend earning a certain amount of money. So the more time you have to spend training, the more time you have to spend gathering experience rather than earning what you should be, it's a knock-on effect. Like, and one of my managers, which he got railroaded, one of my managers, He's from St. Lucia, and he told me that. He said, listen, one of the ways they do Jake here is they'll give you the promotion, but you'll get it when you're 45.
That's bro.
But the Edomite will get the same promotion they'll get when they're 25. And he said, now add up the difference between 25 and 45 in earnings, and you'll see why they're gonna have a head start. You know what I'm saying? Just the little sneaky things that Esau do. They'll overlook you for a promotion, promote the Edomite young, and you get the promotion when you're old.
Yep. Like I can literally. There's one Jake I particularly work with. Obviously, I've been at my company like six years or so plus, and I've seen manager after manager after manager after manager come in who get promoted over him. But guess what? When the big boss comes to the site, they go and drag that Jake to the front of the crowd to do the presentations and shit. It's like, bro, you're taking the piss. That's Esau, though,
man. Yeah, apparently Esau's on the anyway. Many highly qualified migrants found their qualifications were ignored. Teachers, engineers, accountants, and military veterans often had to accept lower skilled jobs. So that's why Jake in the UK, in terms of wealth, don't really have much wealth. It goes back to all of this. You know, when Jake was being basically held back from achieving. Now you're wondering why their sons are running around London, and they don't really. The thing is, like a lot of these men, not making an excuse for them, but there comes a point where men are like, yo, what's the system for me anyway? When they look at the struggle that their parents go through, they're like, bro, I might as well get it on the roads. You know what I'm saying?
I have a precept on that.
Might as well go crunch and run, and charge it. Bill Marsh and forget, you get me? But that's part of it. It's called being disenfranchised. Not making excuses for Jake, but it's part of it. 1960s to 1970s, although Britain passed laws against racial discrimination, workplace discrimination remained widespread. Promotion barriers. Black employees frequently reported being overlooked for promotion, being kept in junior positions. White colleagues advancing more quickly despite similar qualification. So all that meritocracy shit that she's trying to push is all a lie, man. They try and act like, we just want things to be fair. You never wanted things to be fair. You're the devil. Trade union issues. Many unions fought racism, but some local branches were accused of it. I mean, that's really.
I have a precept up.
That's pretty much it. There's a
quick verse.
Yeah, go on.
This is Haggai chapter 1 and 6. It says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye do not have enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there's none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag of holes." And the point I wanted to touch on is, you have sown much. Like people, the scripture even says it in Zechariah, who's what does it say? Oppressors make no account of their labor. Was it Zechariah or 2 Ezra 5?
2 Ezra.
Oh no, sorry. Wisdom Solomon 5. Sorry, where it speaks about
you're right.
Made no account of the labors.
Yeah.
The scripture I was quoting in Zechariah was the one where it goes, who oppressors hold themselves not guilty.
Not guilty.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because it's like Jacob's sown much, bro, in these environments. A lot of the foundation of these companies, these train stations and hospitals is strictly, bro. If you use a National Health Service, you're seeing a Jake every day, and that's just the outward Jake, not even the scattered Jake. The scattered Jake is just Filipinos and them, man. But I'm just talking about Benjamin. From the Caribbean, from the islands.
Well, even like just to add to your point, when Irish. They had the C19 thing, one of the reasons they said they were pushing the seating on Jake was because they acknowledged that Jake was in all these structural industries. What do they call it? Essential workers.
Businesses.
A vast majority of the essential workers, transport and all, it was Jake.
Was Jake,
the bus drivers and all that,
because remember, what keeps a company going is the structural skeleton that exists. The management is at the top, But you know the one that's actually putting the damn suitcase on the fucking airplane. You're the one that's actually, yeah, exactly. The one that's actually on the line making the bottles and that. The one that's in a milk factory is Jake. It's all Jake. Because guess what? You really might don't like doing the drugs, but now because Jake have joined these unions and now they're paying more, you're mad. It's like, oh, these train drivers are getting this. Nigga, you didn't want to be a train driver.
Now those, and that's another thing. Those jobs in the public sector didn't really pay that well before.
And they didn't pay that well. Yeah.
They didn't want to, just like they didn't want to do the news agent's job. That's why the Indian man was doing it, because you got to wake up at like 3-4 in the morning to sort the papers out. So the Indian man took the corner shops, and then they used that and then put their kids into university,
post offices and stuff.
Yeah, the post offices and all that. All them the Edomites didn't want to do that. The Edomites just want to sniff the packet, man. That's really what it comes down to. They want to go IB for and sniff the packet.
And fucking drink beers. And exactly what we say. People underestimate how low IQ your average English Brit is, bro. They're some of the lowest human beings on the planet, bro. They fail upwards. They're dirty, they're uncivilized, they're uneducated, and they're just hypocrites. A bunch of hypocrites, man.
Nasty.
No.
So let's hear this bitch cry and turn Edomites into, because this is what she's saying that her people are going through because of DEI. It's sad.
Reform is about a society that is based on meritocracy. It doesn't matter what colour your skin is. It doesn't matter what ethnic minority you're from or not from. Every company, whether it's public or private sector, should be able to hire on the basis of the best person for the job.
Do you think that there is a risk that what you're doing is planning to create a society where, let's be frank, it's easier for white males to find jobs?
Absolutely not. We know, don't we, that in fact it is incredibly difficult often now because of the quotas that are in place for your average white male to even get an interview in.
That's not true. There's no quotas in place that's that high that's stopping Edomites from getting jobs. The black unemployment is way up. She's just lying. But Edomites are becoming more unemployed too. But that's not because of the quote DEI. That's because there's just less jobs, period. Because their own elites have deindustrialized the UK. They deindustrialized the UK because they've brought in a system that doesn't need workers anymore. So the only thing that's really going to exist is the owners of production. Production more and more doesn't require workers. You go up north, they shut down all the factories. They shipped all the factory and the manufacturing out to China, and these Edomites can't code. How are you gonna code on the packet, man?
Bro, even call centers, bro. Even call centers, even standard call centers that they used to have regions in the UK where they're just bad from dagging them on the phone. Now they're like, you know what? It's better to just outsource it to India, man.
Yep. The only place that kind of get it is you might get a few Welsh, a few Scottish that have a few call centers because you can live there a little bit cheaper. But yeah, this is the Edomites destroying Edomites. But now they're trying to blame DEI, which is then puts the spotlight. Well, it's the black man's fault I ain't got a job. That it's Jake's fault that I applied for a job and I didn't get an interview. Even though Jake ain't getting a job either, because there is no job.
Yeah. And guess what? If Jake do get the job, Jake is capable.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's on the CV. Why not?
Yeah.
All that Kemi Badenoch is doing here is realizing that once again reform policies are.
So this is what's getting pushed. These Edomites, they're devouring themselves and blaming Jake, and now they're gonna try and sick these Edomites on Jake. So that these Edomites can have you know, they could take out all their frustrations and blame it on Jake and come and try and hurt Jake. But it's all prophecy. The time of Jacob trouble, and second Ezra to 15 chapters. In fact, let me get that. Right. But they ain't gonna have it all their own way. I'm just letting you Edomites know right now that you're not gonna have it all your own way. That when Elon Musk send you into Tottenham and Hackney and all these different areas to be Vikings and take your country back, just know a lot of you are not making it back home.
Yeah,
and I hope you're willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right, and at the end of the day, Elon Musk wants to depopulate you anyway. That's why they're sending you in there.
Yeah,
they
don't care about you.
Send the military. They don't care about you. Man's on the internet saying enough. Well, Elon, why don't you come down here and go to Brixton and deport somebody then? Then Elon's bringing in driverless vehicles. So you can't get a driving job. Elon wants to bring in driverless trucks. Elon don't give a damn about you. And that shows you how stupid you Edomites are. That you got a guy that's literally working to take away your livelihoods, and that's your fucking hero. You Edomites are retarded as hell.
Yeah, and bro, Elon Musk is a migrant himself. He's a migrant. You want to talk about migrants? Fucking Elon Musk from South Africa. So how's a migrant?
He's a double migrant.
He's a double migrant. He's a double migrant.
Double down on the migration.
Can you imagine that? He's your spearhead. Which the next time I'm on a plantation and this bacon I work with brings up migrants, I'm like, hold on. So Elon Musk is your beacon of light against migrants, but he's the migrant.
All right, let's go. Second Ezra 15 and 15. It says if I want to get a little bit of this, man, because this is all happening right now, man. See, at the same time you're getting all these racial tensions, you're gonna get even more pressure because the food prices are gonna go up, energy prices are gonna go up. Edomites ain't getting no panani. It's like they're tight, bro.
Yep.
Things are gonna get worse, and the Strait of Hormuz, that ain't opening up again. I hope people understand that's closed now. That's never opening up again till the kingdom comes. They are purposely destroying the global economy, a depression. I broke it down in a video. If you're saying you want 500 million people and there's 8 billion people, that requires a depression. That means you're saying that 97% of production is not necessary. You have a 97% reduction in labor force. So that's called a depression. So when they're telling you, oh, this is a depression, of course it's a depression. If you want less people, there's a depression. If you want more people, you need growth. You don't have growth and you want less people. So they're purposely orchestrating a situation where there's going to be less food, less energy, less everything. So they could boil it down to only being able to support 500 million people. What happens to the rest of the people? Well, you can work that out yourself. So they're not opening back up the Strait of Hormuz to make everything cheap again, to bring abundance. They don't want abundance. They want you to starve. They want you to suffer. They want you to die in your house because you can't put the heating on because it's too expensive, and make you take a chip hoping you can get some. So they could choose who lives and dies through that system, right? This is Second Ezra 15 and 12 says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and the punishment that God shall bring upon it. And I got another video where what's that guy's name? What that economist? I forgot his name, but I'm gonna do a video on it. He basically breaks down how the American economy is the most unequal economy there's ever been. Like the gap between the rich and the poor. He said you got to go back to Egypt. He actually said that in the video. He said to find a similar circumstance where you've got these super billionaires and then you've just got people at the bottom with nothing. That gap of wealth, he says you got to go back to Egypt to find that. And that's spiritual. And the only reason why America isn't erupting into pure fire is because they've also created a system whereby people really live vicariously through others. If you didn't have celebrity culture and all this entertainment, there'd already be riots. But because you got all this entertainment and people are able to live vicariously through their favorite footballer or their favorite rapper, they don't really have time to realize how fucked they are. Because when your favorite rapper get punani, it's like you got punani. That's how these niggas act. When your favorite rapper get a brand new chain, it's like you got a brand new chain. You're living vicariously through others. When your team win the cup, you won the cup. So you're celebrating. I get it. But I'm telling you, without living vicariously through these celebrities, bro, life is fucked. Man, I'm working 80 hours a week for nothing.
I have a quick one. I have a quick scripture.
Go on.
This is Isaiah 60:2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and the glory shall be seen upon thee. You know, and
that's us.
We have
the light is on us. We can see
how
we can see the truth of this society. A lot of people still can't see the truth. They're still gassed. They still think there's hope because they believe that Elon Musk became a billionaire because he worked hard. This lies. None of it's true. Right. God, this brother would tell you because he probably knows more about it than me because this brother be doing crazy research. But you had a time, what do they call it? The robber barons. You go back to a time in America, which that's back again. The robber barons have come back. It's just they're now Elon Musk and these guys. During the time of the robber barons, you had certain Edomites where they would just say, you've got the contract to import all the pork into America. The Rothschild would say, yeah, that's yours. Boom, instant riches. That's not changed. It's just not done as obvious as what it was before. People, a lot of times, I'm talking about the super, super rich, they were given that position. It's not because of hard work. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's just like the rap industry. Bro, most of these men are related. It's a lie. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, how hard you work. It's an illusion. These people are chosen for the positions that they have. That's why it's called the American dream. Now, the only people that kind of achieved some part of that dream was the boomers, because they needed the boomers to work in the factories, and there weren't a lot of them. But that, if you notice, that's gone now. That I always say the boomers took the blessing. That's gone. That's out of it. In terms of making it rich in America, man, that's a dream. So all you can do is turn on your social media and do two things. You can watch somebody try and sell you a get-rich-quick scheme, or watch your favorite celebrity and live vicariously through them. Watch Kim Kardashian and live vicariously through Kim Kardashian. That's America.
Bro, I mean, even on Babylon, bro, which is never heard before, right? Like this amount of number, 12 million, right, of the American population regard themselves as social media fucking influencers. You know how terrible that is? That speaks for the whole kingdom as a whole. You know,
because what are they
everyone's
producing?
trying to escape.
They're just producing nonsense. It's not productive. But nowadays, that's the dream. That hopefully, and then guess what? Even that's not real. The kids that first got famous on TikTok, there was a guy in China. What was happening was they were picking certain people to push in the algorithm based upon what they look like, because there was a lot of pedophilia going on as well. So a lot of these girls that were getting famous on TikTok, these little 13, 14-year-old girls, TikTok and TikTok for dancing, it was mainly men that was watching them. And it was the text at China would pick, her, based upon how she looks. So they say, she looks like the girl next door, so we're going to set the algorithm up to push them. Most of these influencers they got famous and went viral because they were chosen.
Yep.
Just like Andrew Tate, that they can take you and push you
Oh,
on
speed.
the algorithm. It's not
Speed.
something that anyone can do.
Mm-hmm.
You get buried by the algorithm.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So even the algorithm, even the influencer thing, basically, if you're not juiced in, good luck with that.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get drowned out by those 12 million people. Same thing with OnlyFans. If you're not juiced in, you're not gonna make millions.
Yep.
The whole game is rigged. But going back to what the guy said, he said it quite clearly. He said, this level of inequality, you got to go back to Egypt to find this level of inequality. Because this is Egypt all over again, where the Pharaoh owns everything. In Egypt, the Pharaoh and the priesthood owned everything, and everyone else was a slave. And pretty much that's how America is designed, that you have a 1% that own 90% of the wealth or something like that, and the rest 99% are sharing 10% of the wealth between them. That's insanity.
Yes, and that's going to be established in a further way through the mark of the beast, the RFID implantable chip. And remember, we touched on that system more or less in Genesis. Remember, we did the video going into Joseph and how he brought everything up for Pharaoh. That's exactly what's already happened, and it's like the final capstone for total control is the chip, man.
So I mean, okay, yeah. So it's a day that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting of the hail, which they're predicting a super El Nino this year.
Yep.
All right, with a fearful constellation. The weather's cooked. So add to that the you got the fertilizer shortage. Then you got crazy weather patterns. Hey.
Plus the Strait of Hormuz being closed.
Yep. And then whatever other strait they decide to close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and sword in their hands. Yeah, and that, and in London, that's gonna be literal. The man have got rams, swords, machetes. For there shall be sedition among men, right? Which you're seeing that these guys are going out, they're saying, F the government, we're just gonna go out and handle business ourselves, and invading one another. So they're gonna roll up in people's neighborhoods. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, which we just see a glimpse of that, right?
Yep, Belfast.
You literally just see a glimpse of that. They burned down that street, they were burning down the houses. Right? So it's going to get worse, especially when famine and all that comes around.
Yeah.
Oh, them immigrants, they're eating up all the food.
Don't forget, they tried something similar. Was it 2 years ago when they was doing the migrant hotels, and you had Edomites approaching the migrant hotels and smashing windows and shit, burning cars outside.
But who they really want to get at
is Jake.
It's Jake, man. So they're using the whole migrant thing as a way, but really, you see in the comment boards, they're like, no, we need to re-immigrate all of them, not just the legal, not just the illegal ones, even the legal ones.
Yeah.
If you don't go back 4 generations,
yeah.
Yo, man, nigga, your flipping royal family don't go back 4 generations. But shut up.
Exactly.
Hypocrite. But what he really means is if you're black,
yeah,
if you got rub, just
that's what he really wants to say.
If you got rubber lips, then it's peak for you. So they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall not stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So
Mm-hmm.
this is eventually where all of this that we're seeing is heading. This the energy and the hate is going to just keep building up and building up and building up, and eventually there's going to be a breaking point. There's going to be a point of no return where one side is going to do something so heinous that it's just going to be like, nah.
Yeah.
And that thing could potentially be a false flag. Could be fake.
False flag.
It ain't gonna matter.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I was gonna say,
I
man.
had that clip with that black woman, that what she said, but what she said was 100%, because it's not gonna be a case of they're just gonna roll up in Birmingham in Handsworth and just start some foolishness and they come out of there alive in one piece. It's not gonna happen like that.
Yeah. There's just too much. There's too much Jake, man. You know, there's too much Jake that's in these environments more than you think. You know, Jake is everywhere,
and they just been listening to drill music and grime.
You know, you know. Remember the scripture compares it unto a dew that covers the grass, man. You know what I mean? It's like you really see that morning dew is everywhere, and Jake is everywhere, man.
Yep.
You know, and I was gonna say, man,
especially in these major cities, man.
And especially in these major cities. I was gonna say, man, even on a lower level, like compared to tension, you can even compare it to what's happening in South Africa. You know, with them, you know, the whole thing with the migrants, they're basically just going and taking businesses, and just making them leave, and and it's like, what proves, like, bro. That might look like some South Africans bugging out, bro. That has Esau's hands written all over it. That has Esau's fingerprints all over it. Because it's the same narrative in Europe. It's the same narrative. You know, and environments just like that is like a testing ground onto what they want. Because once that gets out of control, they need more control. Which is when you start having your martial laws, you know, your concentration camps, keeping everyone chipped and in order. You know? That's it.
Another thing they keep pushing for is all of a sudden, innit? Because some Edomite got killed somewhere and now it's capital. Yeah, so plantation. Lord willing, brothers is edified, man. I mean, if you don't know history, it's easy for Esau to pull the wool over your eyes, man. So if brothers want to do research on it, you can look into the Brixton riots. And the Brixton riots wasn't just the Brixton riots. That launched riots in Hackney, all over England, Birmingham. Like Jacob just had enough, man. So you got the Brixton riots. You could look into the Sus
the one that happened in Tottenham,
which was kind of like
the Tottenham riots.
Tottenham. The Sus laws was the UK's version of the pretty much Jim Crow, where Edomites would police officers would just say that they suspected you of doing something, and you go to jail just off that. There's no evidence, no nothing. That's why they called it the Sus laws. And a lot of Jake were getting police brutality, beat up, put in jail. You got Elder Gabar, he brought the song out called Sonny's Letter, which is a song which is based upon that. That's the kind of thing that Jake was going through. So it's not just America, the UK, France, anywhere Jake is. Jake had just been catching the same hell. You know? It's the same devil, man.
And basically, they're more or less trying to bring that back with the whole stop and search thing, bro. Remember? We were just going into that clip of that Eve talking about just stop and search all Jake. And it's like, bro, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like a knife crime. What about these Edomites and the packet?
Yeah, and pedophilia. You know, just let's.
Well, one of the callers
take every Edomite. Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, it was a good point. He's like, the overwhelming number state that most Edomite men are the ones doing these crimes of pedophilia. So why don't we just search? Well, why don't we search every Edomite male's phone? You know?
Yeah. So you know, close up. Brothers can look into all of that, man. But we're definitely close to that time, man. The energy the fire is rising, the energy is out there, man, and it's only a matter of time before these final prophecies come to play, man. You know, the scriptures speak about Israel being among the heathen like a lion, man. It's gonna get crazy out here, man. But that's why you got to stick to the Lord in order to make it through, because it's gonna get barbaric out here for sure, man. High octane. So, you know, with that, say, call halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh, double honors to the apostles, the elders, great millstone, honors to brothers on the highways and the byways. Shalom.
Shalom.